The Kansas City Chiefs yesterday showed their championship pedigree. The Grim Reaper, Patrick Mahomes, showed why he has won 3 Super Bowls. He's been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. And he showed the reason why the Chiefs can be potentially dangerous if teams like the Colts continue to let the Chiefs hang around. Yesterday, we got to be totally 100% honest with ourselves. Patrick Mahomes was not great yesterday. Statistically, and honestly, he was missing a lot of throws. He was not good yesterday. He was 29 for 46. He threw for 350 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. They were penalized a lot yesterday, a lot of boneheaded penalties. Now, some of them were little bullcrap penalties, like the one penalty where they ran Wildcat with Travis Kelce. It was roughly, I think, their first touchdown in the game, and they got called back for a face mask that really was phantom. Kind of iffy. But Patrick Mahomes wasn't great, but he made the plays that he needed to make when they ultimately needed it. And to be fair, Kareem Hunt, he ran for 100 yards. He only averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Rashee Rice had 141 yards. He seems like he's got a little hamstring issue coming off a short week. I don't know how effective he is going to be on Thursday against Dallas. But for me, and me personally, this game really, for me, had a lot more to do about the Indianapolis Colts. When you watch that game, and I even thought about this midway, and I looked it up. I was just sitting here curious. I'm like, dude, what is the Chiefs' time of possession? It felt like, definitely in the second half, the Colts never had the football. Never. The Colts could not get off the field on 3rd down, and the Colts could not stay on the field on 3rd down. Offensively, in the second half, the Colts were 2-7 on 3rd down. They only had 5 first downs, and they had 4 straight 3-and-outs in the 4th quarter and overtime. What were we all saying about Daniel Jones? All that talk is starting to get a little bit relevant. And back to just time of possession, the Chiefs had 42 minutes of time of possession in comparison to the 25 minutes that the Colts had the ball. And Jonathan Taylor did not do anything yesterday. The Chiefs' game plan was, I am going to make Daniel Jones beat me. And they put the game in Daniel Jones' hands, and we saw what happened in the second half. In the first half, you watch the game, and it's like, this game's over. It felt like it was over. And even in the second half, when the Chiefs got the ball, it felt like they were struggling to even score. So we're sitting here thinking, 20-9. Going into the 4th quarter, it's like this game's over. And then Daniel Jones turns into a potential pumpkin. Daniel Jones was 19 for 31, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. But if we look at the context of it, he was abysmal in the latter half of the 3rd quarter, all of the 4th quarter, and overtime. And this is really what scares me about the Colts. You have all these great weapons. You have Tyler Warren. You have Josh Downs, Pittman. Like, they all contributed. But what if that day Jonathan Taylor doesn't have a game and is put in the hands of Daniel Jones, and they say, Daniel Jones, go win me a game? Granted, you're at Arrowhead. This is a big game. The Chiefs, they need it. But look at how the game went. That loss for the Colts was absolutely inexcusable. Like, cannot happen. We're talking about a Chiefs team that was like, and if I am the Colts defense this morning, and even on that plane ride home yesterday, I'm absolutely mad. Because I'm sitting here like, dude, what more do you want me to do? Like, we are keeping the Chiefs from scoring. We are trying our best. Like, we are letting them chew this clock out. Like, can y'all not go on offense and just get a good drive going down the field? Like, this game for me had a lot more to say about the Colts. And we're talking about a Colts team who have pretty much went all in this year. They're already having conversations about wanting to extend Daniel Jones. I would kind of put that on a halt right now. But you trade away 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. And granted, they showed up and played well yesterday. But if you're the Colts, like, we have to get better. We've dropped a couple of games that we had no business doing. And we're coming off a bye, and we did that yesterday. In the way that what game was going, it was just absolutely abysmal. But the Kansas City Chiefs, credit to them, they got a good win. But I don't love them because of their inability to get pressure without sending the house. We saw multiple times in the fourth quarter, and even in overtime, as soon as they got them to third down, they sent an all-out blitz. And if you want me to be honest, if Daniel Jones wasn't at quarterback, those plays would have been made. So what happens when you play the elites of the elite teams in the AFC and you have that type of strategy? Because without sending the house, the Chiefs can't even get pressure on the quarterback. Daniel Jones was able to pretty much sit back, relax, and do whatever he wanted to do yesterday when the Chiefs do not blitz. And in the same theme, Mahomes is pressing. A lot of things were happening that were uncharacteristic of Patrick Mahomes yesterday because you don't have a run game. Your wide receivers were pretty hurt yesterday. And you had really not a lot of places to throw the ball. And you had to manufacture a lot of plays. He had to use his legs. And he made the plays. At the end of the day, he made the plays. And he was under duress yesterday. He got sacked 4 times. But at the end of the day, he made the plays he needed to make. And he kept the Chiefs' season alive. And that is a testament of a champion. And Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs put that on display. I still don't love the Chiefs. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, they're going to run the table. They have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think this is nowhere near a Super Bowl caliber team. It's a down year. They'll be fine going into the future. But yesterday really showed a testament on why you got to put teams away when you have your foot on their neck. And the Colts did not put enough pressure on the Chiefs, and they came back and got a big gutsy win to keep their season alive. And speaking of big gutsy wins, I want to talk about this guy. He was the number 1 overall pick last year in the 2024 NFL Draft. He won the Heisman. And after last season, a lot of people had all these questions talking about how well Jayden Daniels was last year. He went to the NFC Championship game. We've seen the emergence of Drake May. And we are talking about a guy in Caleb Wiliams and first-year head coach Ben Johnson. And part of my picks of the week, I love this game because I don't love the Steelers, and I like what the Bears are doing. I took the Bears plus 2.5. Well, sorry, the Bears minus 2.5, and they covered. Because, and my takeaway from this game was this. People can't deny that Caleb Wiliams and the Ben Johnson combo is just here to stay. And when we talk about Caleb Wiliams and his ability as to be a franchise quarterback, be a leader, and have all the right traits that you need at quarterback position, go back and look at the sack that occurred when he got strip sacked in the end zone by TJ Watt. And all of a sudden, they're down 14-7, just from a big, huge play that Caleb Wiliams made. And last year, the Caleb Wiliams of last year probably would have unraveled. But because this is a different Caleb Wiliams, and Ben Johnson has established a culture that they will fight, crawl, and they will crawl and claw their way to a game and come out on top. That has been the testament of their season this year. They've won 8 out of the last 9. And Caleb Wiliams, after that strip sack, he said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and continue the ball. He had a quarterback rating of 68, a passer rating of 104, and he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had 1 turnover, 1 strip sack, but after that, he never wavered. He went out there and was dealing. He throws an absolute accurate ball. He's on time. Colston Loveland, he continues to establish himself in the offense each week. He had a touchdown pass. DJ Moore had made a couple big touchdown plays. Rome Odunze got his. They're still running the ball pretty well. Caleb Williams used his legs when they needed to. Monungai, he averaged 4 yards a carry. Luther Burden made a couple big plays. Like, what is there not to love about the Bears? And when you think about the Bears, and when you look across the division, because we're going to talk about their division rival later on, if you really compare the Bears to the Lions and the Packers, I might take the Bears over those two teams. Because Detroit, I don't think they know what they're doing on offense and their defense. They let Jameis go crazy yesterday, which we'll discuss that later. But I like the Bears' chances against the Lions and even the Packers. Their inconsistencies offensively leads me to believe, like, yeah, I think Caleb has a good chance against the Packers. So I really do think Friday is a great test for the Bears because we're really going to get a good idea of how battle-tested and how much heart this roster and this team really has. And this was a impressive win yesterday for the Bears because you were down like pretty much your whole defense. I think they were missing like 5 cornerbacks, 3 linebackers. Like a lot of good players yesterday were not present, and they were able to go in there and get a win at home against a Pittsburgh Steelers team who were kind of desperate. And now they find themselves behind in the 8 ball, and they're not leading the division anymore. And the Ravens are number 1. And I looked at the Steelers yesterday, and I just keep finding the same mistakes. Their offense stinks. Their defense is old. That is a recipe for disaster. And their season is trending towards doomsday. The Baltimore Ravens were 1-5, felt like they were dead to rights. And now, as of week 12 going into week 13, they currently are number 1 in the division. That is an indictment against Mike Tomlin, the Bears front office, and their horrible decision-making when it came to putting this team together. I've said it week after week. I don't like their offense. Yes, can they run the ball? I think they had pretty good success running the ball yesterday. Kenneth Gainwell averaged 9.2 yards a carry. But what about their passing game? They had no sort of passing game yesterday. You couldn't even pass the ball against a defense that didn't even have their star defensive backs. DK Metcalf was a no-show. 5 catches for 22 yards. This is a DK Metcalf who at one point held the all-time receiving record there in Seattle, but that got took away by Njigba yesterday. But we know what DK Metcalf's capabilities are. And somehow, some way, this defense just continues to be pathetic. They do nothing well. They can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball. They keep running this 3 tight end concept that just feels out of touch and out of date. And Mason Rudolph, he wasn't horrible yesterday. And people who want to say when Aaron Rodgers comes back, the Steelers will have a shot, I think not. If you look at the Steelers' schedule, you still got to play Baltimore twice. You got to play Buffalo this coming up week, and you still got to play the Lions. And the Ravens' schedule, in contrary, gets better and easier. And when you look at the rest of the schedule, the Steelers are currently 6-5. I think they'll split against the Ravens, but they are sniffing another pretty much either under 500 or barely 500 season. And at some point, the Rooney family and everyone has to look at Mike Tomlin and say, dude, what have you done for me lately? Being 500 and barely in playoff contention is not good enough at some point. You got to move on. I feel like the Steelers need a new culture, but that's just me. The offense stinks. The defense is old and severely overpaid. And yesterday, the Bears looked like a team that is super legit, and they have a very bright future with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson.